So let's look at some more examples involving these inverse trig functions. So let's look at the integral of dx over x, the square root of 4x squared minus 9. So again, I have this coefficient in front of x squared of 4, so I need to start by getting rid of that. So I'm going to rewrite it as something squared. It'll be 2x all squared. And then from here, we're going to do a u substitution, u being 2x. And I'll put in a 1/2. So if you notice inside of our integral, we also have an x here. So you're going to need to solve for x in this equation. X is u over 2. So I'm going to plug in now. In place of the numerator dx, I'm going to put in a 1/2 du. In place of the x in the denominator, I'm going to put a u over 2 there. And then the square root of u squared minus 9. So these 2's then cancel. And I'm left with 1 over u, the square root of u squared minus 9 du. And now, if you look here, my a value, because I have 9 here, my a value is going to be 3. And if you look at the 3 inverse trig formulas we had before, this matches the third one. And so this is going to be 1/3, 1 over a, arc secant, inverse secant, absolute value of u over 3 plus c. So last step is to plug in for u. It was 2x, so 1/3 arc secant of the absolute value of 2x over 3 plus c. And there's my integral. All right, so our next example, let's look at the following. Let's find the integral, the square root here in the denominator, e to the 2x minus 1. So the first thing I'm going to note is that in our formulas we need to have something being squared here. So I can think about e to the 2x as e to the x squared. And now I'm going to make a substitution. U is going to be e to the x. The derivative of that is e to the x dx. Now I don't have an e to the x, an extra e to the x in my integral. So I'm going to take this last equation here and plug in. U is the same thing as e to the x. And if I solve for dx, I'm going to get 1 over u du. So we're going to plug in now, go back to our integral. In the denominator, I'm going to have the square root of u squared minus 1. And then in place of dx, we look at our last equation. I get a 1 over u, so I'll just stick that out in front. A 1 over u, and I have a du here. Now if you look, this one will match up with arc secant. Identify our a value. A is the square root of 1, or 1. And so this becomes arc secant of the absolute value of u over 1 plus c, and then undo your your u substitution. Arc secant of the absolute value of e to the x. Well, e to the x is always positive, so you don't need absolute values here, plus c. And there's my integral in this case. So do a substitution, and then once you get this to match up with one of those three formulas from the previous video, you do a substitution. You use the formula and plug in your a value into it.